Hi class, everything we have talked about thus far has dealt with adding and subtracting of integers. Today we are going to talk through the rules for when we multiply or divide integers. We do have relatively short notes today, so get your notebooks out if they're not already. And we are going to talk through the rules for multiplying and dividing integers. The rules we're getting ready to talk about only are true if we are multiplying or dividing, not if we're adding or subtracting. Adding or subtracting, we work through all the rules that we've been talking through. So same signs. If I am either multiplying or dividing two things that have the same sign, so if I have a positive number times a positive number, positive times positive is positive. Also, if I take a negative number and multiply it by a negative number, that also gives me a positive. Same signs as in the two numbers that I'm multiplying or the two numbers that I'm dividing. A positive number divided by a positive number is positive. Or a negative number divided by a negative number is also positive. So when I multiply or divide two numbers and they have the same sign, both positive or both negative, whether multiplying or dividing, I get a positive answer. If they have different signs, one number is positive while the other number is negative, and I am multiplying them or dividing them, I get a negative answer. And it doesn't matter which one comes first. I could have the negative one first. Negative times positive gives me negative. Negative divided by positive gives me negative. Remember when we were adding and subtracting and we had different signs and we said the sign of the answer was the same as the sign of the bigger number? That's not true. If for multiplying and dividing, that's not true. Sorry. It was true when we were adding and subtracting. But when I multiply and divide, if I have one positive and one negative, I should get a negative answer, whether multiplying or dividing. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple examples here. Number one says -3 times 6. -3 times 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. And negative times positive, when we have different signs, negative and positive, I get a negative. Negative 18 is correct. The reason for that, -3 times 6 means I need to add up -3 6 times. So I need to do -3 plus -3 plus -3 6 times. That's 4, 5, 6. So if I have 6 -3s, here I have 3 negative counters, 3 more negative counters, 3 more negative counters. I have a total of 18 negative counters. Negative times positive does give us negative. Question number 2, -55 divided by -11. -55 divided by -11. So I've got -55, or let's just worry about the 55. 55, I'm dividing it into 11 parts. Got 5. 55 divided by 11 is 5. Negative divided by negative, when they're the same sign, I get +5. +5 is correct. Negative divided by negative is positive. If I have negative 55 and I'm trying to split it into groups of negative 11, so there's one group. There's two groups. That's negative 22 so far. 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. So if I have negative 55 and I'm dividing it into groups of negative 11, notice I have not negative 5 groups, I have a total of 5 groups. Negative divided by negative is indeed a positive. Number 3, 4 times negative 12. 4 times negative 12. 4 times 12 should give us 48. If we're not sure, we can multiply it out. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 12 does indeed give us 48. Positive times negative, 1 positive, 1 negative, different signs, so negative. Again, those rules only work if I am multiplying or dividing. Number 4. Number 4 says 21 divided by negative 7. 21 divided by negative 7. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Positive divided by negative, they're different signs, different signs. The quotient is negative. Negative 14 times negative 8. Negative 14 times negative 8. Real quick notation note here. I know this is times because there's no sign in front of the parentheses here. So what the sign in front of the parentheses is what matters. So if I had negative 14, negative 8 written like that, this is subtraction, negative 14 minus 8. If I had it where it looked like this, we've had ones that look like this, negative 14 minus negative 8, written like that. Again, this is not multiplication because I have a sign in front of the parentheses. If there is no sign written in between a number and a parentheses, or between a number and a variable, 3x, this means 3 times x. This means negative 14 times negative 8. So I am being asked to multiply here. 14 times 8. I'm not sure off the top of my head what 14 times 8 is, so we're going to write it out. We do 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So 14 times 8 gave me 112, and always double check your sign. Negative times negative is positive. Negative 62 divided by 2. Negative 62 divided by 2. So I have 62. I'm dividing it into 2 equal parts. That gives me 31 in each part. Negative 31, negative divided by positive. Different signs, negative answer. Negative 90 divided by negative 10. 90 divided by 10 is 9. Negative divided by negative is positive. Number 8, negative 7 times negative 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Negative times negative is positive 49. I don't know why I'm boxing some of these in and not other ones. And number 9, 20 times negative 6. So 20 times 6, well, we know 2 times 6 is 12. So 20 times 6 is going to be 12 with a 0 at the end. 120. If you're not sure, you can multiply it off to the side. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Positive times negative should be negative 120. Quick notation notes. There's lots of different ways that we can show multiplication or division. Multiplication, now that you're getting into algebra, you'll see the time sign written as an X less and less because X is typically viewed as a variable. Here we did want multiplication, but once we start to talk about variables, this could get confused with -3 times X times 6. So you will not see the X as a time symbol very often moving forward. More often you'll see it like this, where I just have a number and then another number next to it in parentheses. Or you could see it like this with the little dot. That means times as well. Division, you will either see it with the actual divided by bar like this. More often you'll see it like this, or even like one like this, you'll see it -90 divided by -10, where it's a horizontal division bar instead of a slanted one like that. What I want you to do right now is, on your own, I want you to try these 5 problems. I want the instructor to pause the video and give you guys a few minutes to try them. Then once you think you have them down, you can restart the video and it'll show explanations. So number 1 says when you multiply or divide integers with the same sign, the answer should be positive. Again, this rule is only true if we multiply or divide. This is not true if we add or subtract. -2 minus 3, -2, take away 3, should be -5. Notice when I add or subtract with 2 negatives, it doesn't always wind up positive there. When you multiply or divide integers with different signs, the answer is negative. Number 3, -6 times -4. Negative times negative is positive. 6 times 4 is 24. 32 divided by -8. 32 divided by 8 is 4. Positive divided by negative should be -4. And number 5, -13 times 5. So 13 times 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Negative divided by positive is -65.